The Digital Scene Show is sponsored by Light Panels, makers of the world-renowned Emmy Award-winning green-friendly LED lighting systems. Check them out at lightpanels.com.
I've been in charge of post-production at 2 different companies for a total of 35 years, and I have no idea what these techies are talking about. As long as it sounds good and looks good, I'm happy. We all know Paul Haggar. By the way, I'm here to introduce Paul Haggar. We all know Paul as head of post-production for Paramount and over 50-year employee of Paramount, but I want to tell you a few things on the personal side. I met Paul in the early 70s. I was in charge of post-production for the Motown picture Mahogany, and Paul was in charge of post-production for Paramount, the picture that was releasing the movie. After the initial shock of meeting Paul and working with him on that picture, we became very close friends, a friendship that has lasted for 35 years. Later, in my position as head of post-production for Disney, we did quite a few pictures in partnership with Paramount. It worked out seamlessly as we divided the work between the 2 studios. We've also owned thoroughbred horses with Jimmy in partnership with Jimmy Honoré for many years. One time we went to San Francisco to watch one of our horses run. By the way, the horse was named Peanut Butter Man. Thanks, Herb, wherever you are. Our plane was late, and when we got to the track about 45 minutes before the race, we quickly made our bets. Then we went down to the paddock to meet the jockey. Our horse was number 1 in the 6th race, and just before the race started, Paul said, "I don't think I bet enough on our horse." And he went and put $1,000 on horse number 6. Our horse came in second, and Paul, who always seems to have a horseshoe up his ass, was looking at his tickets and said, "I bet on that horse that won." He won $12,000 betting on the wrong horse. So we went to the windows to pick up his $12,000, stuffing money into his leather bomber jacket. It was quite a sight. He looked like the Michelin Man. And later, when the races were over, we tried to get a cab to the airport. We couldn't find one, so we asked 2 big burly guys to give us a ride. Paul said he'd give him $40 to do that. So we're in the car riding to the airport, and one of the guys says, "Excuse me, sir, I noticed you won $12,000 on race number 6. How did you know to bet that horse?" Paul and I are seated in the back seat looking at each other like this is going to be the most expensive cab ride we ever had. But it turned out fine. They were good guys. We got to the airport. They said they didn't want any money. And Paul threw $200 over the seat as we got out of that car as quickly as we could. We always enjoyed our time together, whether we were at the racetrack, at our raucous dinners, or at NAB. And I don't mean walking the floors of the convention hall, but rather playing blackjack, playing craps, or going to the roast and insulting our friends. Therefore, it is my pleasure, from one has-been to another, to introduce a man that needs no introduction. I hate when people say that. But anyway, please give a hand to Paul Haggar.
What a true story, $12,000 did. David Neckmer stopped talking about what kind of a car. By the way, you can't see anybody from up here. Feel like George Burns. It's Kevin. Anyway, I've had a great life. I started at Paramount many years ago, and a lot of guys here in this room, I don't know if they're all in post-production, but it's not as hard to get in as some people think. I know that I started by a friend of mine got me into the mailroom, and I started at Paramount at $20 a week, and I had to give my money every week to the people that owned Oblats, and they would feed me no matter what I wanted. That $20 went a long way. And then I delivered mail to everybody, all the stars. And my career went on, and I finally met Bob Evans when he took over the studio, and my whole life changed. But I got in on nothing, and I worked hard. I never stopped trying to learn post-production. But I almost wanted to throw this speech away because I've never seen anything like this on a stage. I would have given everyone an award. I mean, how hard can that be? Cece, you're out there. I mean, what will we do with all those sound effects? My God. I mean, that was really incredible. I'm very, very impressed. And some of the young guys that worked on those movies, I give you one salute. You did a great job. Great, great job. I must say that I am so encouraged by seeing what I saw tonight on that screen. I just can't get over it. All the things I wanted to say, I can't say because that is far superior to what we did. Got Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, you know, hello, you know. What was that all called? You know, so I mean, I wouldn't even know how to pick up a script with that. But anyway, thank you very much. And I've got people that are here in this audience tonight that I've worked with almost all my life, 54 years. And they're sitting here, C.C. Hall, John Wiseman, Chris, all the guys from the dubbing studio, Warner's and Universal. I just have to say, if you want to get into this business, you can. And what you have to do is work hard and learn what you're doing, you know, and you'll get respect, and people will take to you, and you'll stand up like these other guys did and get good jobs. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you again.